we talk about this podcast and how sometimes it can be a bit of a burden mentally. Not all the time. We do really enjoy it. Like, it is a highlight of my week. But this time it was not. It was not a highlight of my week because genuinely, I know we've said a lot of times this is the worst thing we've ever experienced. And we tend to, when we look at a piece of media for the first time, be really harsh on it and kind of ease up as we go on. That's not happening this time. Because truly, no, this is the single worst piece of Wonka media. If we ever said that in the past, that was not true. Because this has blown all of them out of the water by a country mile.
Yeah.
And that is Poptropica's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Island.
I would argue that this was one of the first times we both were the same level of absolute anger. Because even with, like, you know, Tom and Jerry, you were way more angry than I was. I was still like, oh, this is stupid. But, like, that offended you personally at a deep core.
Yeah.
This was rough.
It was really fucking bad. Like,
it was, we both were absolutely
and we were excited. We started very optimistic.
So positive.
But we
were like, oh, we'll be done in and out in an hour.
I think part of it is we broke our format for the first time. Normally, what we do is we will experience something separately and come and join together. However, since this was a video game, we decided, and we have like our Buy Me a Coffee, we decided it would be a good idea for us to record our experience playing it and then recap and talk about how we felt about it on the podcast, which will work great. But I think we really fed off each other's anger as well the whole time. But also, I'm so glad you were there, because otherwise there's no way I would have finished it. I would have been so mad, and I had accountability in place.
Yeah, same.
We hated it so much that we were supposed to put this episode out last week, but then we got all the Wonka trailer news, and we were like, oh, thank God we can put off talking about it. So now I'm not. I'm at peace enough with it that I feel like I can talk about it without getting pissed. Because I think we were just going to get mad if we had to talk about it at all.
Yeah, it would have been it would have been like the difference of like 2 days, like we had played it and then 2 days later we were going to like talk about it essentially. So yeah, I think
soon.
Healthy distance has been good. I've been like meditating this past week, so not directly because of that. I'm not suggesting it might have taken a little dip.
Yeah.
The stress levels.
I mean, my sleep has been horrible since we played it. I've had horrible reoccurring nightmares, so...
Side effects of Poptropica include
Jeff Kinney,
insomnia.
You're to blame.
Anxiety.
I'm glad I remembered the creator of Poptropica's name for that bit. That was
a wild thing to pull out. I'm not going to lie.
For reference, I played Poptropica all the time as a kid. Also, let's introduce ourselves. Hi, this is Wonka Watch. This is a podcast where we talk about all things Wonka. And this episode really illustrates how much we talk about all things Wonka. Because you didn't think we'd go to the 2012 defunct Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Island that I had to download Flashpoint for. But we did. We've done it, and we've experienced it. I'm your host, Felicia.
Yep. I'm Elaine.
And we're doing all this for the Wonka prequel, which we will be talking about today because I guess to balance it out, did some more research. I guess for reference, I do want to preface this and say I grew up when Poptropica was popular. I remember playing it quite a bit as a kid. I was extremely bad at it and had to use a guidebook all the time. Playing it now as an adult, I realize why I had to is because your goals are unclear and there are almost no ways to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. That isn't, I mean, you could, but it's mostly trial and error, and we did not feel like doing it.
No, we're full ass adults and just no.
So it really tarnished Poptropica's decent memory in my head. So
let's go to our safe place. Wonka Watch News.
Oh my God, it's flying in on the hot air balloon that Poptropica, the Poptropica dirigible. We did not talk about there's dirigibles in Poptropica. How did we not talk about that?
I don't know. I guess
maybe because it's not that important. All right, so we have a few pieces of Wonka Watch News today. Well, we have one big piece of Wonka Watch News, and then I think last episode, I talked a lot about how I realized I had missed some articles when the trailer from CinemaCon in 2022 happened. I had missed some articles and I found some new stuff, and I think it incited a fear in me that maybe I really had not left every stone unturned. So I feel I can confidently say, I really went through it, guys, and I found about like an ounce of information, not much. And I did go back through some set photos to see if we can elucidate anything more, and I think I figured out some stuff. Maybe.
Ooh.
Is it because we don't want to talk about Poptropica for an hour straight and we can cut it down to a nice 30 with this? Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You guys know how we do it.
We were tagged in this post by our listener Mary, which this is our first Wonka tie-in product, Elaine.
Ooh.
Our first official Wonka tie-in. They sent us a post from the Candy Hunting Instagram, which like reports on junk food news. The only thing about this, I'm not calling Candy Hunting on Instagram a liar. It's just there were also no other record of this existing literally anywhere, and I just want sources. I would love a source, you know.
Hey yo, it's Editing Felicia here. Turns out my instincts were very, very right because I can find no record of this existing anymore. It has been deleted off of the Candy Hunting Instagram. I did like reverse images searching and everything. I was on it. So I think this is fake, but you know, we can enjoy the discussion of the fake Wonka Fruit Loops while it lasts.
Why do they know this? Is this a doctored image? Many questions. But I'm going to let you see this as I announce it because Wonka cereal is here and it's Fruit Loops.
Oh, yes. As it fucking should be. Oh, look at Toucan Sam with his little rainbow beak, a top hat.
They just took
That's the
his
Timothy outfit.
Yeah, it's the Timothy outfit.
They just photoshopped it.
I recognize the crease in that top hat, which is insane to say, but I know I do.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not mad at this. Is that wrong?
It looks like there's like, I mean, yeah. It looks like there's like berry pockets in the...
Wait.
What?
I just said, I'm not mad at this. Is that wrong? And you went, yeah.
I was trying to agree affirmatively. Like, I guess I'm not too mad. I'm a kind of a Fruit Loops hater. I don't think fruit belongs in a cereal. Fake fruit belongs in a cereal, but that's my personal opinion. I've hated them since I was a kid. I'll blame it on autism. So there's lots of stuff. It looks like there's like berry pockets within the Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
And it'll make the milk. I mean, we will try it if it's on the shelves. But yeah, they said that
for sure
the new Wonka Fruit Loops will be out on shelves soon. And that's all they said.
It's Editing Felicia again. New developments have happened. I figured it out. Essentially, there is a Wonka cereal releasing in 2023, but it has Gene Wilder on it. And it is a Berrylicious theme, but it has this like 71 photo of Gene Wilder there, and then just like the normal ass toucan. So someone saw this and must have photoshopped it to be the Wonka 2023. So the idea, there is a Wonka cereal coming out related to Fruit Loops, but it is not related to the 2023 film, which makes much more sense.
Essentially, some people in the comments were saying they were wondering if this was a Ghostbusters Afterlife situation, which I figured out meant that apparently Ghostbusters Afterlife had a significant delay in its release, but all of the tie-in food products were made pre that. So they had to get them on the shelves early so that they wouldn't expire. So people were wondering if this might be a similar thing, because it is odd because the movie's not coming out for 6 months, you know?
That makes so much sense. Because even with, like, I mean, the creamer, you know, was separate, I guess, totally. But, like, that's such a good point. Because I also had that thought of, like, well, this seems a bit early. Are you going to have Wonka Fruit Loops for, like, 6 months? Or, like, what?
So I was like, that's very compelling and interesting. But, again, I looked for a decent bit of time and I could find no record of this existing besides this photo. So there is a chance this is fake. And I don't mean that to discredit this Instagram.
Photoshop it.
I just really want sources. I love a source.
Same. I could very easily. I mean, obviously,
I could
not
make
a real bird, so it would be Photoshop. But like, it's just the fact of the exact veiny hat is really what's throwing me off.
I mean, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a flat cartoon bird, and we're suddenly going to have really exactly like we're going to have a really detailed costume on this like paint, like easy
I do kind
Microsoft
of love that.
Paint.
That's kind of my favorite part of it, though. I kind of love that they just threw his outfit on there.
It's so silly. Hold on, I'm gonna expand this. I want to see. Because then also like the fact that like Wonka and Fruit Loops, I'm like, I don't know if. Well, I guess only time will tell. I'm very curious, but I'm a little dubious. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. A veiny hat on a bird.
When I see a press release on it, I'm on board. I just want a little bit more notes, you know. So that's our official Wonka Watch for today. Now we're into the weird bullshit I dug up. Oh, here's the one thing, though. I forgot about this. Assuming this is true, Elaine, you predicted that we would have a Wonka branded cereal back in episode 36. So I have marked it as correct. If it turns out to never have been real and no one can find a record of it, I will take that back. I do think we will get one, though, still. Like, I don't think it's not going to happen, you know?
Right. I think there's, like, a very good chance. But, yeah. Oh, my God. This will be so exciting if it's real.
Oh, no. Sorry, it's not real. Haha. I have put Elaine's prediction back down to undecided. I still believe... I don't think a Gene Wonka breakfast cereal counts at this moment. She'll probably argue with me about that, but, you know, she'd have to re-listen to this episode to find out.
I went back through a bunch of set photos to see if I could find any new information because we've learned more from these trailers. So this was from photos of them filming in Bath. There is a truck with a big crate on the back, but apparently on the truck the text says Zoological Gardens Survey, which implies that maybe this is where the animals come from.
Oh... Very whimsical. It's a tiny truck with a very tall crate, which I assume is maybe where that giraffe comes from. I think you're right.
I think there's a chance there. That or Hugo Loompa.
Hugo Loompa in his tiny jar in a giant box.
That's a studio
in a
apartment.
giant crate on a tiny little truck. It's a tiny studio apartment on wheels.
Okay, besides this, I wanted to bring back this photo of Tom Davis. Now, we talked about this last week because we were talking about, is this in a factory or is it on a walkway? And we decided it's on a walkway and there's a dog. I never noticed Timothée Chalamet looking so fucking distraught on the bench behind him. Can we talk about that? How did I never notice him? Like, did I just
He's
not
like
notice
having a
him?
little like... It's like a dramatic wallow moment. He's like, no,
It
but
seems
what
like
will I
Tom
do?
Davis just betrayed him in some way and is like looking out over a street like, you can't trust everybody, Willie. And Willie's like, no.
I feel like this might have been a moment where like he was very distraught and he was just like doing a casual sleep
Timothée
moment.
Chalamet sitting on set and we're like reading into
Right?
it.
Yeah, we're like in the end. But like he was like doing the thing where the hat was over his face, and he's like, "Oh, well, there's nothing else to do." And then Tom Davis just says something offhand, like, "I know. If only that truck would come in sooner." And then he goes, "What did you say?"
Yeah.
If only
He's got
that
a
truck
furrowed
was
brow.
coming sooner.
He seems
the
to be
truck.
concerned.
Want to know about this dog so badly.
Yeah, this is a different photo of Tom Davis, which I would not even think is the same character if I hadn't like known this cast inside and out. Because who the fuck is this guy? This is such a different vibe to the other photo.
Whoa. Yeah.
He looks like middle management
Wow.
now. Like 1930s middle management lumberjack, you know? He has the shortest
Yeah, like he owns a really
tie
nice stapler.
on the planet Earth, a
Yes.
blue plaid button-up, an open corduroy vest, and then some like brown striped slacks. It's just a very different vibe, and I don't think we'd really acknowledged it, you know? Is he
Interesting.
Olivia Colman's husband? Is he wearing a
Ooh.
wedding ring? I can't tell. I can't tell in these pictures. How dare. This is from a website called Just Jared Jr., which seems to be a paparazzi
What?
website for teens. So, hey.
What the fuck?
But it has the best image thus far of Fickle Grubber, which I don't think we've talked about really. Just a very high quality Fickle Grubber pic. I don't know why they put like a 3D filter on it, but he is here. He's got a very like he seems to be quite regal, and he's wearing a fedora, but like a
obsessed.
good fedora. He's got a fur-lined jacket.
He is French or Italian.
Well, I mean, Fickle Gruber, he's probably German, right?
German, probably German. This is so stunning. He has a little brooch on his little fur-lined coat. He's wearing green, obviously a frog. This is fantastic. I'm so happy. Like you
bodes
said,
well for
great
us.
hat, little pencil mustache.
I cannot believe Fickle Grubber's
Oh, his
wearing green. I feel like we need to talk. Like, I know it's
So
not
good.
that
We
big
really
of a
need to
deal,
talk
but
about it
for
more.
us, holy fucking shit.
Wow. I swear to God, if he interacts with a frog or if he does any frog reference, I'm going to shit myself. I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. Okay, so below this is the three of them. So we have Matt Lucas on the left, Fickle Grubber on the right. And then I was looking here and I was like, wait, I think that's Patterson Joseph as Slugworth, right? Right?
Yeah, like in the middle behind the crane.
Exactly. And I got later photo confirmation that it is. So I was like, wait, does this mean that Matt Lucas is Prodnose, right? he would be Prodnose. If those are the three.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
kind of got matching
Yeah.
outfits. He would be Prodnose. And then I do hate to admit that the reason I remember Prodnose's existence as the third candy spy guy was because of the Poptropica game. And I will give it that. I'll give it that, because I did forget about Prodnose. How dare I?
Yeah.
He's so important. But, you know, but yeah, I wanted to comment on that. And then this is a better photo of Patterson Joseph as Slugworth.
Seeing this Just Jared logo in the corner is killing me.
With Timothy's well-known testicular balsacular hat.
Yes. Whoa. But yes. It's so veiny. Why? People have kick-ass coats.
It's so good. And here's the thing, Elaine. I was going back through our prediction sheet so I could mark what stuff we said was likely and unlikely because I like to have all the data. And it turns out that you predicted someone would wear a blue suit, like a blue waistcoat tux thing, like a Wonka-esque outfit, but blue. And I think this counts, right?
Yeah. I mean,
He's wearing like a double-breasted
looking
blue
at him side
coat.
by side. Yeah, we got a hat, double-breasted, a cane.
And these they're all clearly color-coded. So... you got another
Blue tie?
one. This was a great week for you, Elaine.
Oh my gosh, wow. I'm so happy that my stupid predictions are coming true. Wow.
So, now I had some photos from them filming at a historic harbor, which this is another angle of this harbor shoot. This
You really did go in. You really
I still
did.
have like 4 more things, Elaine. I'm nuts.
Oh,
so,
thank God.
This was from the Dorset Echo. And basically they like sprayed it all with snow. But this is a different angle of the harbor that they were filming on. So that's the Lydia Eva boat, which we'll be talking a little bit more about the Lydia Eva. And you can see this brief bit right here. So then there was this post from Cosmic Circus, which was like reading into a bunch of Wonka Report stuff that led me to those other articles. So this was talking about the Lydia Eva boat, which is on the left here. It has a working steam engine, which the crew was really excited about. And by way of audition, the film's director and stunt crew visited her in Yarmouth, spending about 6 hours measuring up for various scenes. And the guy...
By audition? The boat audition? That's so cute. Oh. Might be a pageant mom when you can be a boat mom.
The guy who's kind of like the steward of the boat basically said, all we know is that they're going to convert her to look like passenger vessels and that shots are going to be on deck and in the engine room and that all stunts are being done on board. So there's stunts on the boat?
Stunts. Oh, almost like if someone was startled by a fish jumping out of the water and slapping them.
I don't know if they
and
need
then
a
as they turn around, a seagull
for that.
swoops
Do
in.
they need a stunt person for that?
I mean, does
I
Keegan
will
Michael
say,
Key want a
I
raw
did not
fish
see
slapped
many
in his
animal
face?
wranglers on the list, but they could do a lot with VFX nowadays.
Okay.
So,
And
and then it also led me to look at Mandy.com for castings, which is like a website of casting. So I found one guy was cast as a plumber, which I don't think we've had, so that's new, a plumber.
No.
And someone else is
Okay.
a Slugworth shop assistant, which means we'll see inside Slugworth's store.
Whoa.
I love it. And then
That's
lastly,
very cool.
I dived a little bit more into the IMDb crew listings, and I found that Michael Adam Thompson is listed as the lead creature FX. So now, this could be the elephant and the giraffe. But are we getting a Ganuli? Are we getting a Snozwanger?
I was just about to say.
Are we getting a Ganuli or a
Just about to say.
Snozwanger? It's not confirmation, but it lends us to hope.
I feel pretty good. We're going to see some of those beasts in whatever, if we go to Loompa Land or, you know, whatever wilderness we're going into. I feel like we're going to come across.
Oh, I think it shall be good.
that's
I
exciting.
think it shall be good. All right, I'm going to go pee before we talk about Poptropica. All right, I'll be back.
Okay. Oh, and you'll never know what I'm about to do. What kind of instrumental peace song do we want to do, my friends? Let's just look up instrumental music. Warm jazz. Holy Spirit. Let's not do that. Dark classical? I can't sing to that. Acoustic chill? Sure. Whoa. Yeah. No. We played a simple little game, and no one is to blame for all the pain we felt, unable to find a way back through the conveyor belt. That'll make sense in a few, 'cause a goose disc loop has a moment but so did we. We felt such rage that it was like a churning sea. And we couldn't figure out how to get it working in the first place. Oh, you could say it was hellish, not an escape. Poptropica.
Oh God, I keep forgetting about this bit. You would think at this point I would know.
Never know just how it works.
You'd think by this point I'd expect it when I come back.
Yeah.
But I never do. I never do expect it when I come back. It is one of my favorite running bits on the podcast because somehow I forget every time. So
every time.
It's just as enjoyable for me. And I sit down and I just hear, like I can hear from my headphones on the table. And I'm like, oh no, that's right. Gone are the days when Elaine used to pee with me in solidarity. No, now I am but a mere
Joke's
spectacle.
on you. I am super dehydrated, severely sunburned. Everything's great. I was up until 3 last night.
Oh God. So to start off this section, since we recorded our experience of Poptropica, I have a record of how much we did not enjoy it through a lot of the time. And it's difficult to convey that to you guys. And if you guys want to watch the full video of us playing it, you can get it on like our Buy Me a Coffee with the membership and stuff. It'll be up there. Check it out. But I wanted to, for people listening to this episode now, give you an idea of how much we were desperate to not talk about this game by giving you an incomplete list of things we talked about that were not the island while we played. I want to let you know that it took us 40 minutes of technical issues before we started playing, and then an hour and 40 minutes of actually playing the stupid game. These are the topics we covered. The legendary gay erotica artist Tom of Finland. 1986 Parting Glances, a gay indie film starring Steve Buscemi. Josh Groban. Our Pets. The Al Pacino film Dog Day Afternoon. Periods and IUDs. The Beach Boys. Elaine's DoorDash order, which then became a side quest in which Elaine tried to see if you could order milk on DoorDash, and that was, we had more fun with that than this whole island.
That was genuinely like 20 minutes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Elaine discovered the chicken restaurant, Huey Magoo's.
Oh.
We sang a full verse and chorus of Billy Joel's hit Uptown Girl. No deliberation on that. We just started doing it. There wasn't even anything happening in the game. We paused everything and did it and then moved on. We didn't acknowledge it either. And then Elaine checked her credit score. Just in the middle of recording, she didn't say, I'm going to check my credit score. She just was on her phone and went, credit score is doing good. And I was like, did you just compulsively check your credit score? And there seems to be a phenomenon where if you're invested in a bad piece of Wonka media, like, sometimes it's so bad that it makes you want to do your fiduciary duties. Because I started budgeting compulsively when we watched Tom and Jerry, and you checked your credit score while we played Wonka. So maybe there's some secret here.
Genuinely, give it a whirl, guys. I don't know. I mean, see if you start making budgets.
So yeah, I cut down our hour and 40 minutes of hell down to around an hour, which you can go watch on our Buy Me a Coffee. It'll be up today, so you can check that out if you want. So now let's talk about this actual island. I got some basic info. This is the synopsis on the island. I guess I should explain what Poptropica is. I didn't do that. Poptropica is like an online game that sucks. It's a game that you'd be allowed to play in school because it's not non-educational, but it's not educational. Like, it's close enough to educational that you can get away with it. You know what I mean? There's essentially, you play as this weird little guy who jumps around that's customizable. And you play these islands that are like an hour and a half to 2 hour stories that are essentially like the most bare bones point and click games in the sense that there are no red herrings whatsoever and not really any good puzzles, and the worst platformer you've ever played on a bunch of different themes. And that's Poptropica. So here's the synopsis of the island. After years of silence, Willy Wonka's magical chocolate factory is reopening, and you've got a golden ticket. But when a group of misbehaving kids threaten to destroy Wonka's candy creations, he needs you to save the day. Prepare to untangle a confectionery conundrum that's full of sweet treats and sticky situations. This was originally released in November 15th of 2012 for members, and then December 6th of 2012 for everybody. But we played it for free because the website is now defunct via Flash Player. So if you want to play this, you have to go through Flashpoint. There's ways to figure it out online. I don't recommend, but you can do it. It's up to you.
Don't do it.
Apparently, when this island was released, the homepage of Poptropica had Oompa Loompas running around it, followed by a dancing Willy Wonka, which, God, I would have paid to see. Would have loved to see that. That would have made this a little bit better, but unfortunately not. So now, let's get to the plot and, like, this actual island. I'll tell you right away, we are not taking into this account for Wonka canon. I hate this thing. This will be the last time you hear us acknowledge its existence, other than in terms of pure hate, I think. This is genuinely the worst thing we had to do.
This is the scale now
for this podcast.
Yeah. This is the scale of, like, how bad was this on a scale of, like, 1 to Poptropica? That's what this is going to be now.
Yeah.
So
is this a Scott Frank Wonka, which is the 10? Or is this Poptropica Wonka? The highs and lows. You haven't known the epic highs and lows and defeats of having a Wonka podcast.
This just made me think that it'd be really fun if we set up a, like, tier ranking list of Wonka media and just had everybody, like, rank the Wonka media on that scale of, like, Scott Frank to Poptropica, or maybe you have different feelings.
I mean,
but, like,
I think we're the only people who have Scott Frank as the A tier. That's true. As the S tier.
I would consider if someone has listened to the episode, I'm going to consider them having, like, a flavor of the media. Obviously, it's going to be biased if you listen to it from us, because we're fucking obsessed, but,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so the story of this game is you're playing in the game as a kid in the town, and you help Charlie get the golden ticket by finding some money. And Charlie in this version is the most... We saw him, and we thought, that can't be Charlie, surely. Because he looked like a corpse. Like, I don't know how to explain to you...
Genuinely.
...how decrepit this child looked. Because also, there's not really a height difference between adults and childs in this game, which is kind of a problem. It's difficult to tell.
He was... possibly the most maybe accurate to the book level of starvation Charlie I would say we've seen, but, like, damn, he looked like a middle-aged zombie that, like, or like a Victorian ghost.
Yeah, it very much looked, it was giving Tiny Tim, but in like a 2010s dystopia movie, you know? So you help Charlie get the golden ticket by finding some money. Important to note, Wonka's face is either on the legal tender here, or he made special Wonka money for the occasion. You get a silver coin with Wonka's Poptropica face on it. And I guess we just have to deal with that.
Wonka wealth? I don't know what you would call Wonka bucks.
But also, like, what power does he have? But we've had these discussions.
It's ambiguous.
If you knock on the Bucket Family shack, they think it's debt collectors, which that was kind of dark.
Yeah. They really went hard on their story.
Yeah. There's also a fun thing of a fourth wall breaking Wonka gift shop where you can go in and read the first chapter of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from a book that's 8 times the size of you.
That gift shop was wild.
It's basically, they would do that whenever they did crossovers with existing piece of media so that, like, they could use the IP. They would basically, like, promote the items, but, like, you could watch the trailers for the movies in the game, which is wild.
And they had Glass Elevator, which... Whoa.
Oh, yeah, they acknowledge Glass Elevator's existence, and you could read the first chapter of it there. And I'm like, that's wild.
Don't you want kids to want to read? I don't know what you're doing.
So you give him the money, and he buys it, and you essentially have to stop the people chasing him because he gets the golden ticket, like, right away. Oh, he makes you open it, too, and you get to, like, open the bar. That was fun.
Yeah.
You, like, click some buttons, and it opens the bar for you. You have to essentially stop the people chasing Charlie by throwing cabbages on them and stuff and, like, knocking snow piles down. But essentially you're just clicking on things as the characters run. And the sequence went on for entirely too long. As editing it together, it was only about 2.5 minutes, but God, it felt like 8.
Wow. No. Yeah. Whoa. It was very scary, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, why the are
you got really
like,
excited, though, about being able to inflict violence on the people?
I did. I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of exciting.
Charlie gets in, but then you walk outside the factory and a golden ticket just floats down out of the sky and you have to chase it for, again, far too long. This also took about 5 minutes. You had to parkour over the golden ticket comes down and it's like this, it's kind of like if the magic carpet from Aladdin was a fucking dick bag. You have to go to the just the worst parkour you've ever done in your life. No clarity about where or when you can't jump. And thank God I'd played Poptropica before. Otherwise, we would have been stuck on jumping on the windowsills for about 20 minutes.
For sure. That was one of the main problems with this game. And this was the first big showing of it is with the point and click, you can jump on certain things, but there's not any main animation to show you oh, this is clearly backdrop. This is clearly a thing you can interact with. It's all the same backdrop vibes. And sometimes it's oh, I'm suddenly able to walk on this telephone cord, but I jump to this one solid building and it's actually not a thing I can jump on. Was wild and so dumb.
It's very frustrating. It felt very justified, and it actually made me feel better about how bad I was at the islands as a kid. I'm like, oh no, they were fucking inscrutable. Okay, great.
Yeah, no, yeah.
God. So you eventually get it. You have to climb up 4 fucking buildings and then jump down a height that would kill you, but it's fine. You go into the factory, and all the kids fully introduce themselves. And the thing about Poptropica is, 1, it has no sound. So not even fun music. And 2, you cannot skip past any of the text. They would say about 5 words and it would stay on screen for, I would say, 8 to 10 seconds a piece. And these people would have 30 things in a row. It took 5 minutes to get through all the kids' introductions as they talk to each other. And all the kids are pretty, Augustus Gloop he's a little sailor boy in this, which was fun. And we did steal his hat, which is where the Tom of Finland discussion came up, because our character just looked like someone who would be in a Tom of Finland drawing. And I stand by that.
And I got to learn about Tom of Finland.
Yeah. I will always bring the niche gay history. I know that's my role on this podcast, to relate Wonka to queer art. And then, okay, but the one I really want to talk about is Mike TV, because he looked like the Crazy Harry Muppet if played by Timothée Chalamet in a prequel movie.
Whoa.
Do you know what the Crazy Harry Muppet looks like?
No, I don't.
Give it a quick Google.
Is it Harry, the name?
Harry?
Oh, yeah. Ooh. If y'all don't know, it's if an evil little scientist decided to try meth for the first time and then really liked it.
It's kind of
wow. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, Felicia.
I love.
Do they still use this one?
Yeah, he was in the movie we watched.
I must have blacked that out.
He's the pyrotechnic.
I absolutely hate him. Absolutely hate him. This is the worst kind of puppet. This should not exist. What the fuck is this?
What did you find?
Ew. Okay, we got to move on. I won't distract us too much longer, but this is what I found. It's just in the dark, screaming. It's gonna rip my jugular out and eat it like beef jerky. That's gonna be the episode. That's us. It's us playing the game. That's what we looked like the whole time.
Who's who?
It's just
am I the Mana guy?
I don't even know, man. I just feel like it's a good representation.
I just put this and the words hell on top of it, and that's the episode cover.
Yes! Done.
Fuck you, Toucan Sam. You get nothing from us, you bitch. But yeah, Mike TV looks like Mike TV looks like that guy if he was played by Timothée Chalamet in a prequel.
Yes, he was scary. He was very scary and also did not seem like a little boy.
And his outfit kind of looked like a straitjacket. It was wild. I'm not it's just truly the vibes. His eyes were red. It was genuinely, he shot the guns before going into the factory and was yippee, and Wonka was just hell yeah, and we were like, what?
Yeah, the fact also that Mike TV said yippee in that scenario was just the wildest yippee contextual situation I've ever experienced. Did I just have a ghost? My lamp just flickered when I said that. Is the spirit of Mike TV in this house?
Mike TV, are you with us? So you get in the factory and the kids immediately run loose, and Wonka's like, oh, can you help me get them back? And you have to help him get his cane first, which is all
his fucking intern.
Away. This is the next part of the game. Elaine got
I'm just
really
remembering
mad
it as you're talking
so
about it.
You jump down.
So stupid.
You jump down. I thought we would be more calm about it, but I'm still mad. You jump down a hole, and it like leads you to this area, and you have to click which room to go to, and then there's a pointer that tells you, it's basically, you're in a room that you can go left or right, and you have to choose to go left or right, and then there's this hand that shows you to go left or right to get to each of the rooms. However, there's like, you have to do this like 6 times to go to each room, and you have to go to like 5 different rooms in this thing, and the first time it was fun, but time 3, we were getting real fucking peeved about it, because it took quite a bit of time to load all the screens.
And if you got it wrong, you had to start over. And you're just doing... And you're also seeing the same scene. It's not like you're getting to a different level to then finally get to,
it's just
like...
identical
you're
floors
just, like,
that you do, like, 5 times. It just was the least satisfying thing. And, like, the thing about this game is it felt like a lot of it was just stuff to make you waste time. Like, it wasn't even... It wasn't worth it, you know? I don't know. So the conceit of the whole island is you have to go to each of the rooms and do puzzles and stuff to get the kids back. Wonka does not help you at all. He essentially stands in the rafters of each room like the Phantom of the Opera, to the point where he doesn't immediately make himself available. He just kind of stands in a corner, and then he's like, isn't this crazy? And you're like, yeah, motherfucker, help. Like,
why don't you have an elevator? Fucker.
Yeah, it would help.
Anyway...
Augustus. Let's talk about Augustus. He falls into the chocolate river, but it's honestly more of a swan dive. You do some parkour and turn some wheels to get him through the pipes. And then you go to the fudge room. And this is where it really turned for us. Because up to this point, we were, you know, I'll say it, the design in this game was at times charming. I liked what they did with a lot of Wonka's Factory. I was enjoying, even though I didn't love the mechanic earlier, it was our first time doing it. And it was kind of fun the first time.
It had a little flavor of steampunk. It was something different than we've seen.
I didn't hate the Wonka design. Fine. I think they did a good job adapting it to the Poptropica art style, which the Poptropica art style, everyone looks a little bit like a frog, but it does work. This is where we really started to hate the game, because basically what you would have to do is you would have the kids, they'd do their original thing, and you'd almost have to start that, and then you would go to the room to undo the damage they did. So Augustus comes through, and he's basically like a parade float of like fudge, essentially. And what you have to do is get him through the room unharmed by doing a series of actions related to a timer. But there were a shit ton of red herrings, and anytime you messed up, you would have to restart it over again, this level. And this is when we started using a guide, because... And we read the guide, and we were like, oh, we never would have fucking gotten this. We would have quit.
Well, because every time you had to go to a certain button or whatever, there was a limited screen view. So you literally couldn't see what was happening when you pressed a button until you got to run back over. And half the time it was too late.
Or it did
like,
nothing.
Oh, did I hit the right button? Or it did absolutely nothing. And the buttons were like intense parkour, like jumps away. But I hated that you couldn't see what you were doing. I was like, there's no way. Like, and to me, I enjoy a puzzle that actually, I don't know, makes sense. Like, to me, I was like, that wasn't a puzzle that, like, tested my logic or anything. That was just nonsense chores. Like to me, that had
this
no,
whole
like,
thing
actual...
felt like I was doing chores. I would have rather,
logic.
like... vacuumed my room than done this. They use the book designs for the Oompa Loompas, and Poptropica has no sound again, and you have to look at dialogue boxes with the Oompa Loompas doing their songs, and it sucks exactly as much as you think it does. It was awful. They very much had like an ABBA vibe, though, because there was only like 3 of them. And there was like a guy and a girl that kept showing up, so that was kind of fun, but besides that...
And they did the whole songs, right? Like, exactly from the book.
I would say at least 30% of them, but it felt like it might as well have been the whole... Go to the TV room with Mike next. He gets sent by television. You have to get him out of the TV by, like, adjusting some antenna. This was the least painful room. And then he goes to the bubblegum room, and you have to stretch him back to normal size by basically hitting a button to stretch him vertically and then horizontally at certain power levels to get him to the right side. Yeah, with metal pincers. And I fucked this up really bad when I was doing it.
It was horrifying to watch, not because of you, just the act of whatever they were asking us to do was like ultimate body horror. It was horrible. He would be too wide, too tall, too stuff. So, you know, like you had to keep stretching him, and like just his little eyes would bug out when you do it. And like it was so heinous.
And his size wasn't even really right at the end. So it was fine. But
no. Yeah.
In Violet's room, you have to step on this yellow button that does not look like a button at all, and you are given no indication to stand on. which then drops a piece of gum. She eats the gum, and then you have to take her to the juicing room and do a slide puzzle to make sure she gets squeezed instead of diced. This is when I had lost all investment at this point. I did literally no critical thinking. I was just reading the guide and doing the motions. I think this...
I was gonna say, I don't remember much of this room.
Yeah, we were not... I'm trying to remember what we were talking about, because I remember what we were doing playing it, you know?
Maybe DoorDash had come up at that point.
DoorDash,
because I was like a little hungry.
In the Augustus room. That began in Augustus's room.
Oh, that was a very long time.
It kept returning like a little like every 10 minutes you'd be like, so I'm thinking about DoorDash again. So Veruca gets tackled by squirrels and pushed down the chute to the incinerator. You have to go and turn the generators off so they don't get burnt up. And one generator is powered by a squirrel on a big wheel. So that's about it. And then you have to like pull a lever which puts down these big balls of gum that you get in front of like fans to stop things going. It was weird. So then you go back to the chocolate room and Wonka's like, well, there's two of you. Why don't you argue for who should get it? But then the ground breaks off below Charlie and he is sent adrift into the chocolate river. And now this is when we cue an excruciatingly long bit of platforming where you have to use whipped cream you got in the earlier room to draw platforms. And no joke, this was one of the worst things I've had to do. It sucked so much because sometimes, basically, you're playing the game and in the top right corner is this whipped cream icon you have to click on. You click on that and then you can build a platform. And then you have to click on it every time you want to build a platform and it'll pause the rest of the game.
So dumb.
The problem with this is if you miss that icon by like the tiniest fraction of a bit, you will just jump because everything is controlled by the mouse in Poptropica. If this was like a right click hold down to build the platforms, this would be very easy. But then we had to retry it. Where eventually at one point the icon just didn't show up sometimes. Yeah. And we would have to like exit the level and come back, which was awful. It was very insult to injury. And we kept playing music to motivate ourselves. I think we went through about 6 songs, which was very sad.
Yeah. It sucked because at the beginning I was like excited because I was like, wait, this actually seems really cool. It's like a chase kind of thing. Like
there was obvious
we had hope
put into this. It's like,
and that was arguably the worst, like Augustus and then that were arguably the worst experiences. I think that was the worst part of the entire game.
I still think the Augustus one felt worse because like the Augustus one felt worse because it made me realize what we were really doing.
Yes. Yeah.
This one was fun because at least I knew it was going to be funny. The Augustus one didn't even feel funny when I was doing it. Like, you know,
it's just
like this one was like, well, I fell.
True. Yeah.
However,
no, it was so funny. By the time we hit the chocolate river, I was like so emotionally drained. I was so hungry. I still hadn't figured out what I was going to get on DoorDash.
Did you ever order anything on DoorDash? Did we get?
I did.
What did you get? This is good conclusion for us.
Yeah, you keep going. I'll pop back in once I find it.
You find Charlie at the end of this and rescue him with Wonka's cane you got earlier. Also, it's not short. It's like a decently long bit of platforming, and again has the issues where it is unclear what you can and cannot jump on. Very rude. And then Wonka gives the factory to Charlie, and you get free visitation whenever you want and a lifetime supply of chocolate. The end.
We should have gotten so much fucking Wonka bucks for all the shit we did.
You got a medallion, a winner's medallion. And then there was a bonus mission in the game, which was a members-only thing, but since it's now defunct, we could play it for free. The whole thing is Wonka's 3 biggest rivals have infiltrated the factory and absconded with his most important recipes. It's your job to take to the skies and bring those recipes back. Now, we did love the inclusion of the chocolate spies, and you did get to ride in the glass elevator. Now, it was a poorly designed glass elevator, which was a bummer. However, we do give it props there. It had Prodnose, Slugworth, and Frickle Grubber, and this reminded me of Prodnose's existence, so I guess thank you, begrudgingly. Basically, you go in the air, pick up candy, and shit it out onto the planes. We did not beat this because we stopped caring at this point, but we briefly played it.
What day did we record?
April 27th we recorded.
I don't think I got anything.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I feel like you didn't even get anything after all that.
Did I really not get anything? That's so sad for me. Did I just give up? Maybe I drove somewhere. I might have gotten Zaxby's. I think I got I remember exactly what happened, Felicia. It's all coming back to me in a fever dream. I left that recording defeated. Like, it was, don't get me wrong, I always have fun. But, like, you know, I was drained. We were drained.
We both were like, this fucking
so
stuff.
drained.
I think at the end of recording, we talked to each other and we were like, normally Wonka Watch kind of makes us feel good. It's like a scheduled piece of socialization for both of us. It's normally like an uplifting part of our week. This was not. This was awful.
This
like,
was
we
not
both
it.
came away from it being like, this sucked and made my week worse. Like,
I came out and, like, my voice was dead. And I do a thing where I take my dog with me to drive-thrus because she likes to stick her head out the window, and it's what I like to call a lazy walk. So I gathered her up and I went to Zaxby's. It was like, what, 8 or 9 p.m. at this point?
yeah.
And it was fucking late for what it was. Everything was so sad. And I went and got me a Zalad, which if you don't have Zaxby's in your area of the woods, it's like a little... one of those chicken fast food places, and they don't have salads, they have Zalads because they're Zaxby's. But I got my Zalad and it was kind of shitty, and then I ate it, and then I tried to go to bed and I was just up late. But anyway, I remember, I ended up driving because I was like, I need to get out of this house and I need to have fresh air and just some nice music, and then I can re-enter this space.
Literally, it was so bad.
So funny.
Unrelated note, I have recently discovered the joys of the Crunchwrap Supreme. Very late to the party, but my fucking
God.
God.
My gosh, where have you been?
It's so
Hey,
good.
I have a recipe.
What the fuck?
I have a recipe on how to make it at home if you want it. It's fucking bomb.
Please, because I
will
lost
send it
my
over,
goddamn
doll.
mind. I was like, you guys have been holding out on me. This is the best food I've ever eaten.
Oh, they're so good, and they're so easy to, like, walk around with. Also, it's a very good portable food.
It's so fucking good, though. I was like, holy shit, this thing's crazy.
Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. I love. That genuinely brought me so much joy right now. It's almost like you were, like, telling me some, like, amazing personal news for yourself, but it's just that I enjoyed thing or like a life event. But it was just like you enjoyed Crunchwrap Supremes. I'm so happy.
One of those
you.
remote internships I go for, you'll be like, "That's great." However, the Crunchwrap Supreme, I really think is the highlight of your year.
Yeah, I'll be like,
well,
that's
none
great.
of the jobs call me back, but I did eat a Crunchwrap Supreme for the first time.
Oh my God. I'm losing my shit.
So on that note, this thing fucking sucked. As you can tell, because we had way more fun talking about Zaxby's and Taco Bell than we did about anything from this island. That's the real Wonka Watch tell. If you can see us desperately switch to another conversation topic and immediately become lighter and happier and more, it's what I like to call the what would you be on the salad bar effect, which is after rereading all the Roald Dahl philosophy essays, we apropos, I don't know how we got on the topic, but started trying to assign each other as foods on a salad bar. And that...
it was specifically like, tag yourself in the Ruby Tuesday salad bar. What are you?
You were a crouton and I was one of those weird curly cracker things. So that was cool.
Yes.
And then I think we made a Batman villain who only threw toasters. Yeah, that's just a fun piece of Wonka Watch lore. If you can hear us desperately trying to jump to any other conversation topic, specifically near the end of the episode, that's when you know we're not having a good time. I think we need to use that as our internal barometer, because that lets us know how much we really dislike something, because the things we really dislike are the ones that we've done that with. Because I fucking hated this island. I have almost no good... I like some of the design, but any nice things I have to say about it have been wiped out of existence from the fucking torture that was the playthrough.
It wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't fun.
Ever fun. There were cute moments of like we said, a little steampunk factory.
If I did not have this podcast, I would have shut the game down within 30 seconds. This felt like a true fucking obligation. It was hellish.
It was just the fact that 40 minutes of technical issues. I don't think we really emphasized that. So imagine going through all of this.
And here's the worst thing is the recording still isn't fucking good quality. The recording still isn't great quality. It's still kind of fucking choppy. And I want to say I apologize in advance, because let me tell you, the rage I had when I realized we went through all that and the recording was a little bit fucking choppy, I was pretty peeved, let me tell y'all. But it's fine. I will live. You can watch our slightly choppy recording of us going through this hell on our Buy Me a Coffee. And if you can feel the rage coming from us in this episode, just know it is but a fraction of what we experienced in the real time.
You don't even know. Y'all don't understand. It was so defeating and angering. There was just no point.
There was no point. There was no win.
That is why we're doing two things. That is why we made a Buy Me a Coffee video, and we had to make it an episode, because we were going to go through that for absolute nothing.
It felt better that we were at least making a little bit of money from it, you know? Like, it's at least a consolation. It was fucking hell. I hated it. Thank you, everybody. Predictions.
Prequel predictions.
I am formalizing my prediction that Matt Lucas is going to be Prod Nose, but I'm going to try and make another prediction because I feel like I already did that one, and, you know, why not? I like to bring something new in the final hour. I didn't learn anything from Poptropica. Poptropica sucked. Like, I didn't even enjoy it.
No, don't. Honestly, trying to make a Poptropica type themed prediction is just asking for horrible things for this earth, and we need to bring positivity in here. I'm going to predict that there will be a moment in the movie where, you know, Wonka or somebody, our innocent characters, good characters, are talking, you know, whoever they may be, and then they leave after saying something kind of important, and then you zoom in, and behind the alley, out of the shadows, you just see dapper little Fickle Grubber, or Gruber, obviously, but Fickle Grubber come out just looking very mysterious and like, this little pencil mustache doing a little thing, being like, interesting. That's going to be a moment.
I figured it out. I'm going to predict, and this is related to Poptropica, shockingly, there will be a chase scene in which Timmy Wonka uses objects in his environment to create impromptu barriers for the people chasing him, A.K.A. the cabbage run in this game.
Amazing.
I feel like I could see them doing it. Maybe they'll do it with cabbages as a nod to the original novel. Sorry, I just remembered on our TikTok, someone was like, did you know Charlie's family only ate cabbages? And we were like, oh yeah, we fucking know. Talk about the green blues.
Only you knew.
Oh, you haven't heard a whole 4-minute song about it in the opera. I hate that I remembered the name of the cabbage song in the opera. I didn't know I remembered
I hate that for you too. I absolutely hate that for you.
Fuck.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. If you want to go check out some silly goofs and gaffs like we were talking about, TikTok and Instagram at Wonka Watch, you can go hop over there. And as we've been saying this whole time, if you want to see goodies like us being really fucking pissed at a video game, get some movie commentaries, extra little Elaine and Felicia shenanigans, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/WonkaWatch and go check it out. We give you a little shout out too if you join, and just our undying little lovies, I suppose. If you want to email us, we enjoy those too with your questions, concerns, comments. WonkaRapture@gmail.com. Hit us up. And if you're listening on Spotify, we have a little question section. You can just pop in if you had some thoughts about this episode. If you liked Poptropica, Willy Wonka, I don't want to fucking hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Get the fuck out. I don't want to hear about how it, on your really rough days as a kid, it made you happy. I don't want to hear about how it
sad
helped
fucking life
your
you must have.
If I don't give a fucking shit.
If that made you happy, no, I'm sorry. That took it too far.
Absolutely amazing. What? We still have some anger we need to do. It's us. We're projecting. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am happy for you if that's what brought you joy. But man, I hope you're doing okay now.
Joy in this game. What a lovely person you must be to be able to do that. Wow.
Whoa. Well, at the end of the day, blood pressure may have risen.
It almost makes me mad to say it's not that important.
Fast.
That all of this was for something that's so stupid. Like, you don't know.
How many collective hours at this point have we spent on this?
On this podcast?
And we're going to include you. No, on Poptropica.
I will specifically on Poptropica. If we talk about me setting it up, that was at least an hour and a half. Let me get a little calculator out here. I feel like I need to do the due diligence. Okay, I'm going to put in 2 hours for recording. I spent probably 2 hours editing that episode. We recorded this for an hour. I spent probably 15 minutes putting all the notes together for this episode. And then it's going to take me probably an hour and a half to edit this. 8.75 hours.
Holy God.
I love it. Anyway, it's not that important.
Wild. But it's just not that important.
8.75 hours. It's not that, almost 9 hours. It's not that important.
It's just not that fucking important. Oh my God, please just make it worth it. Just say something nice. Even if it's a lie to me. Just say something nice.
Lie to us and tell us this was worth it.
Say something nice to us and something mean about Poptropica.
We're the fucking Poptropica hate cast.
All the Poptropica fans are gonna come after us. We gotta batten the hatches and get ready.
It's not that important. Bye.
It's not that important. Bye.